On this episode of Searching for History, we're at the Fortress Coburg, or Veste Coburg in German. Veste Coburg, a fortress that once belonged to the Saxe-Coburg and Gotha family, is located in Bavaria's Upper Franconia in Germany. The fortress is situated on a hill to the northeast of Coburg's Old Town. Veste Coburg, a medieval castle turned fortress, is one of the largest castle complexes in Germany. Some people say that the outline of the fortress seen from the south resembles a crown, the crown of Franconia. We are approaching the east corner of the fortress, looking up at the high bastion. The Veste Coburg had its beginning as a castle in the 11th century. Because of its strategic importance, the fortifications expanded over its life. In the 16th century, when the Duke's residence was transferred to the Ehrenburg palace in the town below, it was solely used as a fortress until the 19th century. In the 19th century, the fortress was renovated in an ornamental Neo-gothic style. The majority of the outer fortifications were demolished between 1803 and 1838. Here, walking along the south side of the fortress, we are looking at the colorful Lions Bastion. In the background, you can see the entrance bridge, the location of a former drawbridge. The entrance to the fortress is fortified with multiple levels of walls and crenellations. A tower overlooks the Baroque-style front gate. The front gate you see today has been heavily modified and is missing many of the original defensive components, such as a drawbridge and a fortified gatehouse. This building incorporated into the wall is known as the High House. Behind me here is the main entrance into the fortress, and while today there's a bridge, it would have actually had a drawbridge there and this dry moat, so you would have come through an initial gatehouse and then crossed the drawbridge and then entered this main portal into the inner courtyard of the fortress. And so as an attacker, you would have faced defenses at the gatehouse and then had this large gap that would be almost impossible to cross. And then while you're attempting crossing that gap, you're being fired upon from that tower and these high walls all towards the front gate and the front entrance. So it'd be quite impossible to penetrate the fortress from the entrance. From the gate, you walk up through a tunnel to the eastern courtyard. So there is a portcullis. I am looking to see if there are any murder holes near the portcullis. We're now inside the inner courtyard of the fortress. We're going to go inside and check out these museums and then come back out and look at more of the inside of the fortress in the various courtyards. The museum holds many post-medieval objects. This is a sample of an exhibit featuring 16th century etchings. Now we are in the actual residence part of the fortress. Look at this blue velvet cloak or cape and this empire waisted dress from the early 1800s. These were once worn by the Duke and Duchess of Coburg. Here we are in a small dining room. This is a late 1800s to early 1900s bathroom. It is very modern as compared to how common people were living at the time. Now we are looking at the ducal regalia. These are full-length portraits of two of the Dukes of Coburg. This is the Luther Capella, or Luther Chapel in English. The painting of the crucifixion above the altar dates to the 17th century. In 1530, Martin Luther spent time at Veste Coburg translating the Bible into German. These stained glass windows date from 1911. We are moving through touring various rooms of the residential part of the fortress. I really like the multicolored, ornately painted wood paneling in this room. One thing truly amazing about Veste Coburg is its spectacular arms and armor collection. This room holds a collection of circa 16th century plate armor. While looking at this plate armor and barding, we speculated on the usefulness of spurs. The back of the greaves have a slot for a spur. The horse on the left in particular, it appears the barding would block any use of a spur. Upon closer inspection, the horse mannequin is likely undersized and the barding is not fitted properly. I really like the Prussian type eagle that is embossed into the barding. This is munitions grade armor that would have been issued to a common foot soldier rather than a gentleman soldier. This is 16th century armor for the gentry or noble class. Here is a suit of armor that would have been worn by a small boy to learn the ways of being a lord. These are sword types popular in the 16th century. On the right, you have simple hilt rapiers, also referred to as side swords. In the middle right are curved bladed swords that were meant to be used from horseback. On the left, these are Landsknecht swords, German mercenary swords known as Zweihander, or two-handed swords in English. Here is a collection of polearms. And this is a collection of mostly 16th century rapiers. Now we are viewing a collection of firearms and crossbows. Here you see an amazing collection of bone or ivory inlaid flintlock muzzleloaders. Look at the inlay on these crossbows. '17th and 18th century flintlock muskets, rifles, pistols, and a grenade rifle. These are wheel-lock pistols. Now we are in the carriage and sleigh room. The coaches in this room date from the end of the 16th to the middle of the 19th century. These sleighs, dating to the 17th and early 18th century, were used in jousting competitions by the Coburg court. They are decorated with mythological and allegorical scenes popular in the Baroque era. The sleighs were occupied by women at mock medieval tournaments. Drawn by horses, the sleighs traveled across an area containing various targets: rings, wreaths, discs, heads, and figures. Depending on the specific game, while seated in the sleighs, the women tried to hit the targets with lances, daggers, javelins, or pistols, while drivers steered the horses and maneuvered the sleighs. Now we are inside a portion of the inner wall that overlooks the entrance to the fortress. This battery, for lack of a better word, holds a collection of cannons. The right side of the building is the outside of the Luther Chapel. Here we are looking at the south portion of the inner wall. The battery of cannon we previously saw is located inside.
I think walking up to this fortress, you get a real sense of how powerful the family that built it is, or was. I like how when you walk up to the fortress, the park that's in place is made to look like a natural English country landscape. And it's really idyllic. There's lots of park benches to sit on and sort of take in the natural beauty of the place. This is the well. It's been capped so you don't fall in.
It's a long ways down?
It's a long ways down. I mean, you can't see the bottom. I can't tell if there's water in there, if it's just a line from where the water was.
There's water in there. I just heard something drip.
Through the arch in the background lies the western inner courtyard. We are now walking down towards the westernmost bastion, the Bear Bastion. Standing on the Bear Bastion, we are looking at the inner western wall of the fortress, with the red tower on the left and the blue tower on the right.
Well, that was our episode on Veste Coburg. I hope you enjoyed it. It's a pretty remarkable place. I highly recommend coming to Coburg, Germany, and hiking up the hill to visit this fortress. And thanks for watching.
Don't forget to like, share, comment on this video, and please subscribe to this channel.